Hey guys, it's your humble host, or Kid if you prefer. So I'm going to give a very brief summary of today's hearing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to snapshot my notes and I'm going to post them on Twitter. Me trying to go through every single tiny thing is going to take like over an hour, and I don't have that kind of time, and I feel kind of sick. My allergies are trying to readjust to the state. So, as for many of you who do not know yet, um, I am in Dallas, Texas, covering the Save James situation. I was flown out and I came in Monday night. So, and I sat in the courtroom for, let's see, started at 1:30, went till about like 5:08. There was three interviewing attorneys there. There was Jessica, which is Ann's, I forget the last name. There was the amicus attorney, which is attorney for the court, and there was Logan, Logan O'Donnell, which is Jeff's attorney. So, in a nutshell, Anne's lawyer's opening statement was crap. It was nothing but emotional garbage. She tried to paint Anne as like some sort of angel and how she was the only one being sensitive to the boy's needs and how Jeff was controlling, narcissistic, was misusing the GoFundMe money, that didn't respect the boys' privacy, and it was a load of garbage. So she came at this from an emotional standpoint. Um, O'Donnell came from it from like more of a scientific kind of neutral, pretty much telling the jury, hey, you know what, you guys need to decide for yourselves who's credible, who's not. You guys need to decide which parent is better suited for making the primary medical decisions, the primary decisions overall. So he was more again scientific, didn't really bring any emotion into it, stuck with the facts. When it came to the first witness, which was Morgan Kimball, this was James's kindergarten teacher, 2017, 2018. In my opinion, and I really didn't like this, she was too gooey with Anne's legal team. It felt like a bunch of ladies chatting over coffee about a situation that happened, because anytime she answered a question, she was, yes. It was really weird to watch. So she did say that she was told to keep James's true identity a secret, not to tell the parents. The school administrators knew. She knew James was a boy, and she said it was helpful to know that he was a boy in case of a possible situation. She also didn't gender-base appropriate teachings, meaning that if you have, for example, if you have a little girl with her legs open and she's wearing a skirt, she didn't tell a little girl to pull her legs. There's an example she brought up for the boy, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but her appropriateness level was she taught the children to be appropriate with each other, which you could kind of do, but you still have to gender base it because there's appropriate levels between little boys and little girls, and then between little boys and little boys, and you get the point. So there was that. When it came to Al Britton, because I kind of vented a little bit on Twitter today, Morgan Kimball really didn't have a whole lot to say. There was an incident brought up in regards to open house, how open house fell on Jeff's night to have the boys. Anne brought James dressed as a girl to open house. Jeff came, and there's a claim that he had a man and a woman with them. Their cell phones out recording. The police were called, and it was said that Jeff felt like Anne was trying to keep the boys away from him, which, by the way, let me point out, Al Britton did acknowledge that there was a couple of times where Anne did prevent Jeff from seeing the boys. So with him, he's the lying individual, and an overall scumbag. So he believes, overall, I'm going to give you the gist of it, he believes that Anne should be the primary caretaker, make the decisions. he thinks that Jeff should keep his standard um, limitations when it comes to seeing the boys. That's 3 and 5, the 3rd and 5th weekends, the holidays, and the summer, and one weekday for 2 hours. He believes that the SaveJames.com is detrimental. He believes that cutting James's hair is detrimental. He believes that supposedly Jeff isn't sensitive to the boys' needs and he lacks empathy. So, what else can I highlight for you guys? Oh, he does believe, because he said at first that Anne had not fostered anything when it comes to this trans stuff with James. He later goes on to say that yes, he does believe Anne over-affirmed James as Luna. He has a transgender flag in his room. He's been taken to LGBTQ events. Not to mention, there is a 7-year-old minor living with Anne that nobody knew about until 2 months ago, and I guess this kid was staying with them for over a year, or around a year. He got kicked out due to doing illegal drugs. Albertan made the implication that proper boundaries were not set in place between him and Sydney because this was one of Sydney's friends. 2-year age gap. I don't know if the jury caught it. I did. What else? Claims that Albertan claims that James wants to be a ballet teacher, wants to have his hair long, wants Jeff to participate in psychotherapy, and Jeff's coping skills were brought up. Every time O'Donnell objected to Jessica because she tried to lead, the witness would be Al Britton or Kimball. Kim Cook sustained the objection for O'Donnell. Which was actually kind of funny because if you watch Jessica's face, she got a little you could tell she got pissed. And that was something too, which was actually kind of interesting because I only caught a few body language. So when it came time for Al Britton to be questioned by Logan, he started to scrum, like he started to do this a lot, and he looked like he had a worried look on his face. Now when it came to the amicus attorney, because the amicus attorney, he's neutral. He's not for one side, he's not one for the other. He's there for the court. He started to ask some very interesting questions and brought up transracial, brought up body integrity disorder, how people who have all their limbs really feel like they're an amputee and feel like that an arm or leg may be truly gone or amputated. So he brought up some interesting stuff, talking about how it's remarkable for a 7-year-old boy to say that he does not want his penis. He also said that it's remarkable for a 7-year-old boy to say that he is trans, because the claim has been made, I believe, by Al Britton, and it's in Al Britton's report, that James came out specifically stating that he was trans. Coached. Let's see. And also, that was talked about too, the true definition of gender dysphoria. They mentioned it's from the 5th edition. And it was page 70 of appendix. Children express great distress and discomfort. There's an A, which has like 8 categories, and the child has to hit 6 of those, and then they also have to meet the criteria B, which is failing in school, really struggling, which James is doing really well at school, so he does not meet B. There is no medical diagnosis, or medical treatment, rather, for gender dysphoria. They talked about sterility, the James being sterile, if he's ever put on puberty blockers. Albert, and that's another thing. Albert and kept falling back to James and him from Luna and her. He used Luna and her very little. Jessica also kept making the same mistake. The amicus attorney did mention at opening statements that people were going to be slipping up. I don't think it's a slip up. I think people know exactly what the hell they're doing, what they're trying to push, and it's garbage. That was also something, too, that I forgot to mention. When it came to opening statements, the amicus attorney did step in and did clarify what was evidence and what was not. So what the lawyer said is not evidence. What is testified about by the witnesses and what's shown in documentation exhibits is evidence. So he came forward and clarified that for the jury. So Albritton was asked if either parent should be allowed to use either name James and Luna. He said yes. If James wants to be called James, then parents should call him James, and same with Luna. And he did specifically mention that it'd be in the personal homes. Let's see. James told amicus attorney that he was trans, so this was told to the amicus attorney. Albritton did not ask James where he learned the phrase, so James came out and said to both the amicus attorney and Albritton that he was trans, but nobody questioned why he said it, who taught him to say it. Now, do remember, Anne has been exposing James to more and more trans media. Let's see, what else? Somebody 11:25. There was a social worker present. She did an interview with James. She claims, because it was asked what three wishes would James want, and supposedly, according to this person's report, she said that James said he wanted to be a girl at both houses or to be a boy when he wants to be. So let me tell that to you again. To be a girl at both houses or be a boy when he wants to be. So, something about the amicus attorney, because he has to stay neutral. But he started to make Albritton squirm, and he started to try to get away from the actual trans stuff because he brought up gender fluid. I don't agree with the crap either, but it shows him being neutral and kind of steering it away from the trans crap. So Albritton was asked if James could be a girl or a boy at school. Albritton says he's confined at school because of bullying. No, his mom did that to him, embarrassed the crap out of him. Let's see, what else? Like I said, this is a very, very brief summary because I'm gonna take a snapshot of all these notes on Twitter for you guys to dissect and enjoy. Let's see. When asked about anatomy, James said that he did not want his penis. Supposedly, this is what the amicus attorney is saying. Amicus finds it remarkable. Britain finds it inconsistent with other trans children, or finds it consistent. So, Albritton was not really fazed because he was asked, well, don't you find this remarkable that James said he no longer wants his penis? A 7-year-old boy who really doesn't, understand its function? And Albritton's like, well, no, this is consistent with the other trans children I've seen. Albritton has handled 5 to 6 other trans children. Let's see what else. Body integrity disorders brought up, which one believes that one of their healthy limbs is gone. Amicus attorney brought up transracial as well, which actually kind of shocked me that he went there. Gender concepts is beyond a 7-year-old's understanding. Albritton agreed to this, and they brought up a gender dysphoria, gender fluid, and trans. And then they asked, does the 7-year-old contemplate future implications? Albritton says no. So the example that was used, if James were to start dressing like a girl now, go on puberty blockers, and say down the line he wants to play on the girls' volleyball team, does he ever think about that? No. A little kid doesn't think. If you look at this kid's room, like his toys, they're robots. They're superheroes. They're Toy Story. They're Minions. He has these little shirt pens that have Iron Man, the Infinity Gauntlet, Pokemon, Spider-Man. So it's superheroes. Albritton said he was worried about Jeff's financial stability, economic stability, not so much emotional, but the house I'm staying in, both Gwen and Jeff pay for it. it's a nice place. It's humble, but it's still a nice place, and it's in a nice neighborhood. And no, and then he also kind of claims that Jeff wants to stay unemployed, doesn't want a job, and is using the GoFundMe money to uh, whatever he wants, and so that he doesn't have to get a job, which is bull. Jeff wants a job that he could stay at home with the boys with. He does not want a job that's going to pull him away for days at a time from the boys. So Jeff does want to work, and I believe he is working at the moment. I'm not sure what exactly he does. Um, but no, he wants a job that he can do from home and still be able to raise his boys. He does not want to be pulled away from home days at a time. So they've twisted that. It was also talked about, and we'll make this last point and we'll wrap it up here, which is very important, because this was also put in Al Britton's report. O'Neill brought this up, that 2/3 of children revert back to original sex if not exposed to trans material. So, this could very well have James even express anything that he wanted to play with, anything girly or whatnot. This could be a phase. Or it would have been if Anne didn't freaking try to brainwash him with a bunch of media. And we also know, don't forget, that Zoe, her eldest daughter, likes to push the transgender nonsense too. Because she was resharing LGBT posts, and when it was outed, she removed it. And yeah, I do call it nonsense, because this stuff is getting out of control. It's not healthy. It's not normal. Mr. Metokur just released a horrifying video, yet very realistic video. I'll actually put that link in the description for you guys. Watch at your own risk. Do not watch at work. Do not watch while you're eating. And you could see where they want to take James. Like this, there's social transitioning, which there's a fight right now for, but if the mom is allowed to have her way, social, medical, come on, you guys know the pattern. None of us are stupid here. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna post the screenshots or the snapshots of my notes, because yeah, there's a lot of them, and I've already tried to do a take of this video, and it went 44 minutes, and it's just started turning my brain into mush. So, I will see you guys in the next one. I'll keep you guys posted. Again, I'm sorry if this wasn't a very good overview. First time doing this, and there's a lot. My throat hurts. I need to get to bed. But yeah, this is going to go on for the next 3 days. I already got people screaming at me on Twitter, "It's a con, you're supporting an abusive man," and I love it. It's somebody from the Kick Vic crowd, and it's just tying this to that. It's like, oh, well, it brings terrible people together, da-da-da-da. It's like, you know what, fine, we'll use all 3 hashtags, or all 4. Anyway, you guys have a good night. Keep James in your prayers. James, Jude, and Jeff, and Gwen. And I will see you guys in the next one.